And welcome to another episode of JP and the Beanstalk. As always, Beans.
JP, there is a good energy in the gym.
There's always a good energy in the gym, especially with Grandma Sandy's Scotcheroos.
You call that a Scotcheroo, Sandy? It's my best White Goodman, but actually the Scotcheroo that I just consumed. Since it's not sitting in front of me, it was delicious.
Oh, you already ate it all?
100%. It's gone. It's gone. It stood no chance of surviving the first 2 minutes of the episode.
Grandma, I love you.
Oh.
That's a shout out to you, okay?
Sandy,
Thank you
if
very
you're
much.
listening, don't ever stop.
You may never, ever understand sports, but you will understand the art of cooking, and I love you for that.
Well done. Yeah.
She also made me a casserole with the Scotcheroos.
What kind of casserole?
It's a stuffing casserole because she knows I'm a sucker for stuffing.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, I love stuffing. That's like my favorite part of Thanksgiving.
Wow.
So she does like a...
Interesting. Okay.
So she does like a noodles and meat and stuff and then puts the stuffing on the top.
Hello.
I don't share that with anyone.
Well,
I share the
works for you.
Scotcheroos. I do not share the stuffing casserole.
That's a really good diversionary tactic because here I was thinking, wow, Riley is being so exceedingly generous sharing the Scotcheroo, which again, top notch in quality. So why would I ever even think there's something else? There's something more.
Oh, no. That was already gone. That casserole I ate within 2 days. I want you to know that very, very clear. Yes.
How big of a pan?
A yay big bowl.
Yep.
Yeah, I took it to eat for like lunches and stuff. Oh, it was
Sure.
great.
Oh, when it's that good, you don't need variety. You're just going with that same thing. I have gone through a phase now with the advent of football season. That's at least my rationale for this, where I've been craving sloppy joes.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I don't know why. Because there is no memory that I have that associates sloppy joes with football specifically. But for some reason, I'm like, man, I just want tailgate food. I want meat. I want chips. I want beer. I was like, I know what kind of meat we're going to make here. Sloppy joes. So I have just made like huge batches of homemade sloppy joe meat. And it's good. I've eaten probably a couple of years worth of sloppy joes.
Dude, sloppy joes
like
are
in
good.
a couple of weeks.
Sloppy joes are good and underrated in my opinion.
Great food. Great grub.
Food.
Yeah, great grub. And let's be real, like we're heading right into probably the sweet spot of food. Like summer is great with grilling, but in the fall, as it transitions closer to the winter, I feel like you get more. You don't get away from grilling. Grilling is still there. So there's
for
still
sure.
delicious meats, but now you're just adding things like, I'm sorry, is that just a huge pie? Yes. Mm-hmm. Here's pie.
We're in chili season.
Chili. Oh, yeah. Whoa.
Sloppy joes. Yeah. This is like prime time for
great.
grilling too.
Oh.
I love the fall.
It's fantastic. Who doesn't? If you don't get out, like go
I
to
agree.
Mexico.
I
That's where
agree.
you can be.
That's
They
where
don't
you
have
can-
the fall in Mexico.
Nope. They just have
the
summer all year
and
long.
sand and cocaine.
Yeah, you hug that borderline. Just like you're doing lines of other things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Punning is winning. Good for you.
Absolutely.
Good for
Well, I
you.
remember how much you loved them from when we worked together back in the
my
day.
Goodness. You know, you experience rage when I bring up something like, shall we say, Taskmaster? But yeah, you intentionally dropping puns straight in my ear hole at Fairway.
I had to
Man.
keep you on your toes.
Man.
I
Yep.
did that. That's the only time I ever went out of my way for puns is when I knew you were around.
Gosh dang it. Yep. Bless you.
Although that wasn't even the hardest laugh I ever got out of you from the puns. That was the Canadian accent singing in the cooler to Pitbull's Timber.
Oh my gosh. What glorious memories. You know, if you haven't spent time in a giant refrigerator good
With
for
somebody,
you.
yeah.
Good for you. You're probably not missing out on a lot.
I do also miss our grape fights too.
Yep.
Chucking grapes as
my
hard as it
gosh.
possibly could.
Grapes are a fantastic projectile. There's enough weight to them.
I think you left a welt.
I think I did one time.
You left a welt on me. I'm
I feel a
pretty
little
sure.
bad about that. I feel
No,
a
you
little
shouldn't.
bad
It was
about
hilarious.
that. But they've got enough
How'd
weight.
you-
They're going to travel, but they're also like large enough that you can get a decent grip,
Oh yeah,
right? So they're not so small.
and they're tiny, and you don't see them coming.
Right. But they're small enough. They're hard to pick up until
then-
it's too late.
You hit them well enough, it juices.
Right. Explodes. Absolutely.
Yeah. How'd you get that bruise? Oh, that's a grape. What? How?
I'm
It's
sorry?
a grape.
It's a great.
You wouldn't understand. You wouldn't understand.
So segueing naturally from,
Oh, pinpoint
Frozen
accuracy.
grapes. Yeah.
Pinpoint accuracy. The
Pinpoint
Hawkeye
accuracy.
trailer
Hi-oh.
came out.
Well done. Yes. Wow.
Like
Wow.
that pull. Yeah.
That was great. Good pull on your part. Do you have the little Hawkeye pop back there? Let's rotate him around. Give him his
no,
due.
Captain.
That's okay. Cap's going to be fine. He can do this all day. There we go.
I want to get a classic.
There we go.
I need to get a classic Hawkeye.
Yep.
Because I prefer the
With the
classic
purple
Hawkeye.
and the
Yep.
points. You bet.
He's out there. I
You
just
bet.
haven't had the time or the
Yep.
care for Hawkeye where I need to get him.
Yeah. Yeah, so the
But-
Hawkeye trailer came out, so we gotta talk through that because hello, that's fantastic.
The trailer didn't like break anything super down. It's kind of like a good like hype up trailer for the
Agreed.
for the show.
Agreed. Didn't
We-
give too much away.
Nothing to the story really.
Yep.
Just like, hey, there's this girl now,
Yeah.
and she loves me.
Yep, some basic
Actually-
structure.
Actually, I didn't know that she was going to be Ronin. I didn't think she'd take up the mantle of Ronin.
Yeah, I don't know how long that'll last. That felt more like a way for them to get to know each other. But before we get too far down that rabbit hole, so we'll hit that. You got some great Batman Eternal to walk
Oh, you
us
wanna get
through,
the- okay.
which is exciting. I've got some more Green Lantern to walk us through. So we've got great content. We're gonna go down whatever rabbit hole we have. We have freaking Venom rumors. Unbelievable stuff. So a good hodgepodge of material for today. Riles, where the flip do you want to start, my guy?
I don't. That's up to you.
Okay, let's dive into our comics. Let's get into Hawkeye, and then let's talk some Venom rumor.
I think this
as
is a good
cap.
idea because I know how we get with
Oh,
new trailers and
Oh,
stuff, and we just go
100%.
down the hole and we keep
100%,
digging,
100%.
and then we keep digging, and then eventually, well, we haven't hit lava yet,
we haven't.
but
Think we will?
someday we'll get to China,
Sure.
and that's the plan.
Yeah, because once we're there,
Someday we'll get to China,
we're in. Great. Well,
and then we'll steal their dragons.
for the dozens of you faithful, what do we call our followers? Beanieites? Nope. Bad.
I didn't like that at all.
Bad. Stalks.
That sounds weird too. We'll work on it. I think this is. I don't think we can come up with this today.
Those were two just terrible.
They were.
ideas.
They were awful.
Those were just.
That's like
Those were dreadful.
That
Those
was
were
like-
so bad.
two comic book people sitting in a room and going, "The Polka Dot Man." Yep, that's a new villain.
Published.
Oh, hey,
He's in.
you want to put Condiment King in the Batman
Right.
animated series?
While
Done.
we're there, let's just go. Let's go. So anyhow, for those of you that have been faithful followers for at least the last couple of weeks, you may or may not recall that we've been gently segueing into the Green Lantern run by Mr. Jeff Johns, or spelled Geoff. Never understood that spelling of Jeff. Like, who started that? Who's the first
So it's not-
person?
it's
to
not
say,
Geoff
No,
Johns?
it's legitimately Jeff. It's legitimately Jeff. I just want to know who was the first person.
I call him Geoff all the time.
Who
so-
was? Well, here's an opportunity for
Sorry,
you.
that's your name, dude. It's Geoff.
you
Just
know,
accept
in
it.
fairness to you, that's literally how it's written out.
So my question is, do you
Literally.
think his name shorthanded instead of Joe is just Geo? It's gotta be, right?
There's no way he let himself be called Geo. Who would allow that? You can't allow that. I just want to know who the first parent was. It's like, hey, so I know Jeff is spelled Jeff. Here's a wild idea. Geo.
See, because I feel like
why?
Because I feel like if you were to spell out Jeffrey for him, it would be Joffrey,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Like,
Right, you just throw a little REY on the end of that
'Cause-
GEOFF.
that's how it was in Game of Thrones. Joffrey.
Yeah,
I'm irritated
it's
for you,
Thank you.
but continue.
Thank you. So anyhow, Jeff has a fantastic run on Green Lantern. For those of you that are looking to get into something, I don't know that we could call it entirely classic. That's a relative term, but I'm going to call it classic because it's glorious. The writing's fantastic. The art is diverse and yet consistently good. And on our last JP and the Beanstalk episode, we hit on Green Lantern Rebirth. Boom. So early 2000s, Hal Jordan, after a decade plus of being off the DC radar, presumed, well, maybe not dead, but certainly officially off the Justice League, out somewhere in, no one really knew where, other than he's not really dead, he's not really alive, he's just not there. Gave John Stewart a good chance to shine.
Love John.
Rayner stepped in.
Kyle's awesome.
Guy Gardner got a little play as well. So 3 great
classic.
characters, so certainly some valuable time with the Green Lantern idea. But the foundational member, Hal Jordan, not around until Jeff or Geoff or Joffrey, take your pick, revived him in the early 2000s. So that's what we hit on a couple episodes, or sorry, one episode ago, a couple weeks ago. So feel free to go back if you want to get that story recapped for you. We're now entering into, okay, Hal Jordan, he's back. This collection, we go from Rebirth to No Fear. So one of the big changes, there you are, in the Green Lantern mythology that Jeff Johns introduces with the rebirth and now reintroduction of Hal Jordan as a character is that, listen, instead of these guys being completely immune to feeling any semblance of fear, the key to overcoming fear is, in fact, to feel it and behave courageously and bravely in spite of feeling fear. Okay, valid idea. Not so bad. So we start seeing Hal Jordan having to put that idea into practice. So there's a collection of stories in this No Fear collection, compilation, number of which I think are really excellent. The first one is Hal Jordan essentially getting to know Kyle Rayner, because Kyle Rayner came onto the scene after Hal Jordan met his Parallax demise. And so they have a really cool and I would say bonding scene where the two of them are flying around using their Green Lantern rings, and then Hal Jordan, being the former Air Force pilot that he is, like, Kyle, you know what? You think you know how to fly with the ring? Let's... Oh, yeah, there's some gruesome stuff.
There's some gruesome
There's
scenes
some
in here.
gruesome stuff.
I saw a brain. I saw a shark.
You'll see some things. You'll see some things. But Kyle and Hal go for a spin in a good old F-16 jet, and there's some good flashbacks intermingled there with Hal remembering watching his own dad fly jets at the Edwards Air Force Base, and how that just instilled in him this love of flying and this desire for adventure. And so it's a lot of Hal Jordan rediscovering himself, his roots, but also trying to find a way to build a relationship, because there's always that weird dynamic in comics of, oh, hey, you were gone for a while. Where you been there, bud? And Hal Jordan's telling people, like, oh, I was on the road. That's the quote. On the road. Okay.
Like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway.
Because it's comics, nobody asks any more questions.
Nope.
There's like, good enough. All right, guys, Hal was on the road. Don't bother asking where or why.
That's why he's rocking that sweet trucker hat.
Right? That's all we know. So, good opportunity for Hal and Kyle to start to get to know each other a little bit. That's going to be an important relationship, because Riles, where we're headed with all of this, is on a collision course for the Sinestro Corps War. That is one of the most kick-ass, awesome comic stories I've ever read. So that's where all this is building towards. So it's important to understand, hey, Hal and Kyle, they've got a relationship. The other piece of the puzzle is actually not a person, but a city, Coast City. So what led Hal to his original demise was the destruction of Coast City at the hands of Mongol, right? Classic DC bad guy that, by the by, we thought might show up in Suicide Squad, the movie. Courtesy
Yeah, that
of
one
James
was
Gunn.
a reach, apparently.
I still love where our heads were at with that guess. I have no
It would have been
regrets.
cool.
It would have been so cool. But no Mongol yet in the DC movieverse, such as it is. Instead, Mongol, with the help of Cyborg Superman, another awesome comics character. Like, what are we doing here? A Cyborg Superman.
Superman's got some weird villains.
But he's going to play a part in the Sinestro Corps War, so stay tuned, boys and girls. The two of them straight up nuke Coast City, Hal Jordan's hometown. Makes Hal go a little bit crazy because he's upset. Reasonable. How does that pertain to this particular story? Well, not only is Hal Jordan back, Coast City's back, baby. The government, good old US of A, is like, hey, you know what, Coast City? It is, of course, fictional, but it's right on the coast of California. There's a great opportunity. Let's do some good old-fashioned federal subsidizing. Let's rebuild this place. So Hal Jordan returns to a coast city that is being actively rebuilt to try and achieve its former glory. Problem is, nobody wants to live there on account of the fact that it got blowed up by a freaking cyborg Superman and alien warlord.
Yet people go and they live in Gotham City.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we will get into that.
Yeah,
but
we will. So anyhow, Coast City kind of becomes this symbolic, as the story of Hal Jordan's return progresses. We'll see that Coast City is really a direct correlation in terms of how's Hal Jordan doing, how's Coast City doing. As Coast City starts to repopulate and grow, you see Hal Jordan start to gain more confidence, more strength, more influence, more, yeah, just confidence is probably the right word for it. So Coast City is being rebuilt. Now, in the midst of all these rebuilding efforts, who should show up but the predecessors to the Green Lantern Corps? The, not Martian Manhunters, but just Manhunters.
lame, but yes.
Lame, but yes. So the good old-fashioned Guardians, not the Guardians of the Galaxy with our boy Groot, Drax, Star-Lord, and of course Gamora. Have I mentioned Rocket? No Rocket. So the DC Guardians, little blue, let's just call them the Smurfs. They might as well be Smurfs.
They're the smart Smurfs.
Right, the smart Smurfs.
The Smurfs.
Not the ones making the cookies in the shoes, but the ones dropping Green Lantern rings.
Yes. The
on
Smurfs.
all qualified species so they can protect the universe. Did you say the Smurfs, by the way?
Yes. I
respect
said it
that.
twice just so you could hear it
Yeah,
again.
first time I think I intentionally ignored it. Second time I was like, wait, not bad.
Thank you.
Not bad. So the
Thank you.
Smurfs, all right, on their planet Oa, these are the guys responsible for equipping the Green Lanterns. But before they made the Green Lantern, the original Green Lantern, and started producing the Green Lantern rings, they made androids. As one does when one doesn't realize that when you make an artificially intelligent being, it's going to turn on you, which is exactly what happened allegedly billions of years ago when the Manhunters were first bequeathed upon the universe by the freaking Guardians. So the Manhunters show up on Earth, try and take out Hal Jordan. He takes him down and wonders to himself, why are the Manhunters active? Haven't seen them for a little while. And we get this really cool panel where we see an entire planet filled with Manhunters and a cloaked figure leading them. Who is this cloaked figure? Stay tuned.
Oh,
Stay
there.
tuned.
See that? You got me
Yeah.
on the edge of
Yeah.
my seat here. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, what's it gonna be?
We'll hear about this in a couple of
Ooh.
weeks. Well, yeah. And so again, the plot is thickening. Not only is Hal Jordan back, which is good, but the adversaries are starting to come back as well. Now, it's not all grim. Don't worry. The Green Lantern Corps is rebuilding. We get a good little bit of dialogue between Hal Jordan and our boy Kilowog. I don't even know, how would you describe Kilowog, like just in appearance? Like, I would say a mix between like a hippo and some other animal that I can't decide yet.
He looks like, so, you know Mickey Mouse characters, right? You know the big fat dog, Pete? Okay, now imagine if Pete lost his nose, died, and came back to life. And instead of being fat, he was super duper ripped. Right? No?
You're not wrong.
Thank you.
Can't believe we brought Mickey Mouse into this.
Huh? That's what I thought of.
Freaking Pete.
That was the first
what?
thing I thought of.
Valid. I can't dispute that. So there you go. Reincarnated, not evil, but
Because
ripped
Kilowog's
Pete.
nose looks, he doesn't have one.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah, really funky looking dude. But Kilowog's role,
Badass, by the way. I like Kilowog a lot.
huge badass dude. Kilowog's role for years has been training new Green Lantern recruits. So Hal Jordan, when he first joined the Green Lantern Corps, was trained by none other than Kilowog himself. And so Hal Jordan and Kilowog have a long-standing, solid relationship with one another. And I would say Kilowog is one of the few individuals that Hal Jordan treats with respect. Like, Hal Jordan is often pretty dismissive, intentionally, like, overbearing from a confidence perspective.
He's
to a
an
lot
arrogant
of his-
asshole.
He is. I'm just kind of beating around the bush. You're driving right to the point. But with Kilowog, Kilowog's got enough lead in the pencil, shall we say, to keep Hal and his arrogance in check. Yep. And so Hal starts rendezvousing with Kilowog, and Kilowog tells him that, hey, turns out the Guardians have gone from just the one, Ganthet, who we met in Green Lantern Rebirth, to many, because comics. And they've rebuilt the main green power battery, and they're rebuilding the rings, and they're sending them out all over the universe, and so recruits are starting to pour in as the rings select each respective Green Lantern for each respective sector. I should say 2 lanterns per sector. And so one of the things that I find just very fascinating and very enjoyable about reading these stories with the Green Lantern Corps is just the artistic creativity with what these different species of aliens look like, right? There's such a wide variety, and we'll especially get into that when we hit Sinestro Corps War, because man, the creativity there is off the charts. But you start seeing all these species coming in, getting equipped, getting trained up by Kilowog. And it's encouraging, right? All right, here comes the Green Lantern Corps starting to get rebuilt, starting to get back up to snuff. Good things are happening. But again, in the midst of all this good, there's always that backdrop of where's Sinestro? We don't know. The Manhunters are gathering en masse on an entire planet with a cloaked unknown figure leading them. And the Manhunters, they've never been good news, okay? Never been good news. Their favorite go-to phrase is, no man escapes the Manhunters. They like to say that to a person right
That's
before
kinda
they
creepy.
right before they obliterate them, right? Just zap, gone, dead. No wounding, no real... It's not a fair fight. It's just,
No one
you're-
escapes the Manhunters.
Right. Boom. That's the last thing. Like, that'd be an annoying last thing to hear, right? It's like, what are the last things you heard on Earth? No man escapes the Manhunters. Oh.
Yeah, and you know they say it multiple times because they're robots.
Yep.
No man escapes the
Right.
Manhunters. No
Right.
man escapes. And then you're like, I got it the first time.
Right. They're
Can you
like
stop repeating
low-key,
it
more
for 3 more
annoying
times?
Ultrons, quite frankly. So, good things. Again, highly recommend as a read. Good character dive. A lot of variety here. I'm very excited for 2 weeks from now. We're going to get into my favorite pre-Sinestro War collection, Revenge of the Green Lanterns. Some awesome stories in here. A great Hal Jordan Batman team up.
Hey, well, when it comes to
Oh.
vengeance, I am the vengeance. I am the night.
Batman is your guy. A Green Lantern, Green Arrow team up. An appearance by freaking Mongol. We find out who the hooded figure is leading the Manhunters. And we get to see even more members of the Green Lantern Corps that Hal Jordan thought he had killed all those years ago. Hence, Revenge of the Green Lanterns, because Hal's going to show up on the scene to rescue him, and wouldn't you know it, they're not excited to see him. They're like, hey, bud, you tried to kill us. We're not a big fan. So, a lot of great content that we've already covered that is coming up. In the meantime, check this out if you haven't already. Jeff Johns, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. Quality stuff. That's what I got there, Riles.
This ring would be so much. I mean, I love the ring because Ben gave it to me, but I wish it fit on my finger.
Yes.
Okay.
Real
So,
shame. Real shame.
is it time? Is it my time?
It's time. Let's
Okay.
talk some more comics. You got some Batman Eternals for us, friend.
Yes. So, I'm going to say this right now. If you have never read Batman, this is probably one of the best ones to start
You bet.
because it includes a lot of Batman lore. The only downside is Nightwing is dead in this. Not dead. This is when they Have you ever read the Forever Evil storyline?
Awesome.
Yeah. So
It's
that's
awesome. Have you read that?
I haven't read it personally, but I know what happens in it. But
I'll let you borrow
Night-
it. It's so good.
so Nightwing basically dies in that,
Yep.
and then he's recruited as like a secret agent. But
Yeah. Can we go down a rabbit hole with that? Okay.
Yes.
So Nightwing dead. Okay.
yes,
Not really dead, but Batman takes advantage of what is the apparent death of Nightwing to have Dick Grayson infiltrate a not the CIA, it's like a secret
Spiral.
agent society.
Pretty sure is what it's
Spiral.
called.
Yeah, and so there is a kick-ass, just independent comic run with Dick Grayson as a freaking secret agent. It's awesome. I own it. I've read it. It's so cool. It's so great.
Well, there you go.
So there you go.
So that's
Little
what
plug
he's
for
doing
that.
at the time of this.
Woo!
So you don't have Nightwing, but you do have, and I think Damian's gone at this time too. I don't know where Damian's at, but you get. So in this first one, they reference Batman Zero Year a lot too in this. So fun facts. Okay. So at the
Another phenomenal story because
Yes.
we're in New 52 territory here.
yes, this is
Right?
New 52. Yep.
Yep.
So the opening scene, like the opening panel, is Bruce Wayne strained across the
Boy.
the bat signal like this, and somebody has carved the Batman symbol into his chest. And this is towards the end of the entire series. This is what sets it up. Okay. Next thing you see,
That's an heck of a tone set.
yes. So, Jim Gordon has recruited a new recruit from, I believe, Detroit. His name is Jason Bard. He's a new lieutenant that Gordon's bringing in. They are dealing with Professor Pig. By the way,
Hey, Professor Pig.
dude, there is
Hate
a
him.
lot of Professor Pig in
Hate
Volume
him.
1. There's a lot. Dude, he's super creepy in this, okay? Like, the cow goes moo kind of shit is what he's saying. It's terrifying. Him and Gordon are dealing with that. They also notice that Pig has this weird henchman with him with a rose on the side, and Gordon's chasing after him. While he's chasing after him, they go into the subway station of Gotham City, and Jim's like, you need to stand down, you need to go to prison, yada yada yada. And he's like, put the gun down. The guy's like, I don't have a gun in my hand. And he's like, I see the gun, put the gun down. Jim Gordon shoots, blows the transmitter behind him. The transmitter blows up. The two trains cannot stop. They collide. 100 people die. And it's at the hands of Jim Gordon. That's the setup. So, these people have taken Jim Gordon out of the play. Okay? As far as everyone knows, Jim Gordon is now a mass murderer of manslaughter. And he is taken away
Some
to
tough
prison.
things to be accused of. Like that's hard.
Yes. So this sets up. Turns out one of those guys was a former employee of Carmine Falcone, aka the Roman, who, if you don't know Batman comics, is a very high-profile gangster.
If you don't know Batman comics, get to know him. Get
He
in there.
also, fun fact, I believe Carmine Falcone was in the Dark Knight series trilogy, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
And then he
He was the initial primary villain
And
in
he
that series.
and he is also going to show up in the new Batman movie as well. So he was off in Hong Kong for a while after he got driven out by Batman, Catwoman, Penguin. This was happened, I believe, during Zero Year, would be my guess. So anyways,
Say that again.
did that happen during Zero Year when he got driven out?
Sorry, which part?
So Carmine Falcone getting driven out of Gotham.
Man.
Anyways,
Yeah. I don't remember that being a primary part. It might have been. But I don't. Man, it's been a piece since I've read Zero Year.
but anywho's it's.
Yeah.
So he came back after a 5-year hiatus of not being in Gotham. He took over Hong Kong, and Batman's trying to figure out why the hell Carmine Falcone came back. Okay? With Jim Gordon out, Carmine makes his own little moves and basically puts the man he wants in at commissioner. So Carmine owns the police, pretty much, at this point in time.
Is it Bard that he makes the commissioner?
No.
No.
It's a different guy.
Okay, different dude.
So, yes. Getting there.
Yep.
Yes. So, Carmine is taking over the police. He owns the mayor's office. So now there's this...
It's never good when a gangster owns the police.
The police...
Right? That doesn't go well.
Correct. The police are now after costume vigilantes only, their main target being the Batman. So...
Didn't see that one coming.
Nope, not at all. So, Gotham Police is going after Batman. Batman is trying to deal with this gang war now because now Carmine is going at it with the Penguin.
Yep.
Okay?
Sure.
Meanwhile, while that's going on, you have the Clue Master which is like a knockoff Riddler. That's the best way to describe it. They even say that in the comic book itself.
Ouch.
So,
Ouch. No respect even in the book.
you've heard of Stephanie Brown, correct?
Yep.
That
Yep.
would be her father.
Right?
And this is before she's the spoiler. And she basically goes home because she forgot her laptop.
Which, by the way, cool name.
Yes.
The spoiler. Like, that's... All right.
Yes.
All right. That's legit.
She walks in on her dad in his getup.
Whoops.
Yep. With like
Bad
three or
guy.
four other like C-list villains creating this plan to take over Gotham.
Yep.
And her dad's like, I'm gonna kill you now. So she's on the run from her dad and her mom, but she doesn't know she's on the run from her mom, which is weird because her parents are divorced, but they're on the same page. Anywho,
You'd think that the divorced parents, when one of them says, hey, I'm going to kill our kid, that the other one would go, no.
so yes, and they're
No.
and
They would be on the opposing side of that particular line.
and during this meeting, there is one man in the shadows who Stephanie saw, who is a part of the Gotham
Yep.
PD.
Yep.
So they don't reveal who it is in the police department that
Sure.
it is, but that's who it is. So
Sure.
they're hunting down Stephanie Brown. So there's storyline number 2. Storyline number 3. There's like 5 different storylines going on for this Batman Eternal, and they all cross over towards the end.
Yep.
So you have storyline 3. You have Batgirl, who's like, screw this. My dad's innocent. I know it is. So she goes hellbent, and she goes to Brazil to figure out who set her dad up. So she's dealing with that. And Red Hood tags along because Batman's like, Rage. Keep her in check. Okay. So Red Hood comes along.
You're familiar with being pissed off.
Yes. And then they run into Batwoman too. So those 3 are off in Brazil trying to find who framed her dad.
Which, by the way, I think that's a really cool feature of the new 52 Batman is that, man, there's a lot of run, there's a lot of play and time spent with the Bat family, right? I mean, I think that's pretty unique. I think that's pretty cool, and I'm not sure that was something that was so consistently emphasized prior to the new 52.
Correct.
So,
And I think
Very cool.
Batman Incorporated is established in this book too, so they're dealing with that.
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's so much that goes on. I got to keep track.
Oh, it's a
So-
thick book.
Yes. So third storyline, it deals with Tim Drake, aka the Red Robin.
Yep.
And there is this part of the hood, pretty much, of Gotham, and all these kids are sick. Like they're still sick. They had an interaction with the pig, but those toxins and stuff wore off. They're still sick. They're trying to wonder
Classic pig, like just
Yeah.
dropping toxins on kids.
why. So
One of the many reasons why he's just a terrible person. Just bad.
just one of many.
Just one of multiple many.
So
What a turd.
it turns out that these kids all have nanobots in them, like ton of nanobot technology. They can't.
Whoa.
So Tim Drake is going to figure out who's behind that. So he goes off on his own world thingy, and this is also when you have Spoiler getting established in this series.
Right.
You have Bluebird getting established in the series. I don't know if you know who Bluebird is.
Bluebird's no, that's a pretty new one for me. I want to say I've heard of Bluebird, but I
But
got
she
nothing other than that.
Harper Row.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She's got the
Yep.
the
Yep.
fancy dancy.
Right.
I'm emo
Yep.
haircut. Yeah.
Yep.
So that is
Yeah, she gets teased quite a bit in Scott Snyder's main, I would say,
And this is
Batman
Scott
run. But I know
Snyder
this
right
is
there.
Scott
This is Scott Snyder and
fleshing
James
even
Tynion, by
more.
the way. And James
Right.
Tynion is excellent when it comes to the dark shit. So that's storyline 3 or 4? 3.
That's got to be at least 4.
Okay.
You got Batman,
And then
Jim Gordon, Spoiler, Bluebird. Well, maybe I should probably lump Batman and Jim Gordon together.
they are together.
They're
yes.
they're in the.
That's the
they're in
main
one.
big
Right.
storyline with
You
the
got
gang war.
Spoiler.
Yep, spoiler.
Tim Drake.
Red Hood, Barbara Gordon,
There
Tim
you go.
Drake. Yes. So storyline 5 and the final storyline before I go back into the main
Whoa.
is the man who holds the Spectre. You know who I'm talking about?
Sure.
Can't think of his name. It's James something, I think. James O'Connor or something.
Now, you say holds the Spectre, the guy that is possessed by the Spectre?
Yes.
Oh, man. Okay.
Pretty sure it's...
Shoot, I guess I don't know who that is, Riley.
That's going to bother me. I know it's James... Oh, right here. Mr. Corrigan. James Corrigan?
Oh,
Is that correct?
Jim Corrigan.
Jim Corrigan. Yes.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
Jim Corrigan and Batwing. Lucas Fox.
Yep.
Team up, and they deal with the supernatural that's going on with Arkham Asylum. And their whole storyline, as far as this, they run into Deacon Blackfire, which is an old sketchy dude. Basically, yeah, not to be trifled with.
And that's something that I would say is very uncommon for Batman comics, to delve into any supernatural stuff or adversaries or topics. Like, that's a pretty not Batman
for
topic.
Sure. And the fact that they have Corrigan in it was just like not like a crazy pull, but like to have him be teamed up with Batwing is pretty weird team up.
Yeah.
So those two are together. They're dealing with Arkham Asylum. So you go back to the main storyline. There's this gang war going on, and it turned trying to figure out. So I already...
Oh, it's a lot to keep track
Yes.
of. It's a ton.
Batman is like, okay, I'm trying to figure out why Carmine Falcone even came here. So he goes back to Hong Kong, finds out that
Because he was sitting pretty in Hong Kong, right?
Yes.
Like, no real motive He wasn't getting chased out of Hong Kong. He hadn't burned his bridges in Hong Kong.
He actually owned Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Like, he owned it. Like, he took it over, owned it, and
Not a lot of
just
us get
left.
to say that. That's pretty good.
Turns out he's still making 60% of the gang profit over there. So he's still making a shit ton of money. So he's trying to figure out why he came back. They come back. There's actually this crazy scene that I want to show you because it just shows how dangerous the Penguin actually is. And,
But you got to show that because the Penguin easily, just on paper, looks like one of the least imposing, least impressive villains.
yeah.
All
So
right, let me see this beast.
look at this panel and then flip to the next page and tell me that's not insane.
Yep.
But so Catwoman is also raiding the Roman stashes right now, trying to mess with him a little bit. Did you flip the page?
Wow.
Yeah. Badass. So towards the end, the Penguin and the Roman end up getting captured together towards the end of the gang war. This is like the main part of part one is this massive gang war. And it breaks into it and goes all into it. And I feel like I'm all over the place and I super apologize. But yeah,
Unreal.
Jim Gordon gets visited by his son who's saying like, okay, you've always had this darkness in you. Like, you definitely wanted to do this. And he's like, no. And, yeah, because he's in Blackgate. Like, that's where Jim Gordon ends up while he's on trial, Blackgate prison, which nothing good happens in Blackgate.
Wild, man.
Yeah.
Wild.
And Batman comes back, and towards the end of the issue, they arrest they arrest the corrupt commissioner, they arrest the Roman, they arrest the Penguin. And towards
seem like good things.
Yes, towards the last issue of this, he corners Carmine. He's like, "Why the hell did you come back?" He's like, "Well, I was invited back." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And there's this mysterious letter that he hands the Batman. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, for sure.
And because I want to read it word for word. Because this is like, yes. You have been cordially invited to partake in the devastation of Gotham City. Jim Gordon falls 2 weeks' time. The rest is up to you. So basically, somebody has set up
It's crazy.
Carmine and to come back and take over, pretty much. So they also, towards the end of it, get the evidence for Gordon to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And and a fun little thing here. Hush injects Alfred with this crazy amount of fear toxin into his brain, taking Alfred out of commission. And
Poor Alfred.
Yeah.
He has a tough run in the New 52. I mean, fear toxin straight to the brain, gets an arm cut off. Well, hand, I should say, not fully arm, but gets a hand cut off by the Joker. That's rough. That's tough.
Batman teams up with Killer Croc for the Gotham sewage because people who keep going missing and they can't figure out why. And Hush is set up to be the next villain of the part 2 pretty much. And I'm trying to think what else. Oh yeah, and while they're over in Hong Kong, Batman runs into Alfred's daughter, who becomes Penny 2. So she gets involved with who, by the way, just hates her dad. Can't figure out why he gave up all that to become a butler. Because he was like a crazy war surgeon that saved a lot of lives. So I think that's about
fantastic.
it.
I didn't know that's where. I did not know that is where. Let's see, Julia Pennyworth, right?
Yes.
I did not know that's where her character was introduced.
Yes,
that's great.
That is where she makes her appearance.
That's awesome.
Like I said, there's a lot of actual like first appearance for Batman characters in this for the New 52 appearances. Anyways, when it comes to Bluebird, spoiler.
Yep.
Yeah,
because Julia Pennyworth gets sprinkled in more and a little more heavily towards the back half of the Scott Snyder run on Batman in the New 52.
Yeah, she got stabbed through the chest. That's how she came into play here.
That's tough.
Yeah, in Hong Kong.
What's with the Pennyworths just getting
like
harmed?
Yes.
Severely harmed. Bad time to be a Pennyworth, and yet they're weirdly loyal to Batman. Makes you question things a little bit.
So,
okay, kudos to them.
Part 2, they're still trying to figure out actually who set up Jim Gordon. They don't know who set up Jim Gordon.
Part 1 ends, Jim Gordon's still incarcerated.
Yep.
Spoiler, Stephanie Brown
is still on the run, but she actually becomes spoiler towards the end. So now she's like, I'm going to fight back towards my dad.
Right.
Because, she actually ended up, her like best friend was blown up by her father, so she's kind of fed up with him.
That'll make you bitter.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, Bluebird gets introduced in this. And part 2, so this part 1, like I said, it focuses mainly on the gang war.
Yep.
Part 2 focuses on basically Batman's entire rogues gallery for the most part. I don't know.
Probably a few that get left out here and there.
Yeah, but like, because Scarecrow's in this one a little bit, but that's when you get into most of his rogues gallery because they all get that invitation of, hey, Jim Gordon's out, let's tear up Gotham City.
Yikes.
So,
yikes.
Yeah.
I mean, why would anyone live in Gotham City?
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Why would you?
Rent's got to be real cheap.
Like
$10.
Maybe that's why. Maybe the cost of living is just super low.
Might be.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, looks like there's a pretty wide variety of artists that get their time in there just with the different storylines.
There's one artist that bothers me because the artwork just does not fit and it pisses me off. Like, and it's like so weird and it's like gross. It's honestly gross. Let me see. I want to see who the artist is.
I would love to know which one.
The artist is Ian Bertram.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Look at this artwork. Like, it just does not fit. And also, this girl is freaking creepy as hell.
Eey.
She's like a scorpion lady.
Eey.
Yeah. Like, look, like it just doesn't fit.
No.
It looks like more like he should be writing Garbage Pail Kids comics. You know what I mean? Like, that's not even a diss. That's just his artwork. It's kind of creepy and gross.
That is... that reminds me a lot of... So, Grant Morrison, who did a lot of Batman prior to the New 52. One of the more well-known runs is Batman Incorporated. He paired up with a artist, and I can't think of the guy's name, but he has a style that's really similar to that. It's really distinct. It's really unique, but in part of the Batman Incorporated run, and I want to say not even Batman, just Batman Incorporated, but also Batman and Robin. Frank Quitely, that's the guy's name. It might be Quitely. Anywho, it's just a really kind of unsettling style because it looks like really cartoonish, but then it gets very violent, and it's kind of like, oh, no, yuck, just yuck, just not doesn't settle very well. Put it that way. Pretty dang tough. So, anyway, good stuff, Riles. Love that. Volume 1, Volume 2 to come. A lot of good stuff. Out of those 3 volumes, which one, like, did you have a favorite that you're going, man, that was far superior to the rest? I mean, it's all the same. It's all one big story, so maybe that's an unfair question to say which one was the best. But which one did you enjoy?
It's been a while. It's
Yeah.
been a while.
Yeah.
So let me just look through these real quick. Because I want to say Volume
Look at the
2.
cover art on this guy, by the way.
Oh, I know. Look at the cover
Come
art
on.
of this.
Come on.
Cover art's fantastic. Yeah, Volume 2's a lot thinner.
Yeah, especially compared to how thick Volumes 1 and 3 are.
Volume 1 is thicker than hell. Thicker than oatmeal. That's what that one is. Yeah. I want to say...
It's awesome. Love it.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, because here's Clayface. Oh, yeah, Joker's daughter's a big part of this, too. Which is kind of...
Eek.
Oh, there's the Spectre. He comes in there.
Hey, Spectre. Hey there, fella.
Yeah, I'm
Weird
trying
character,
to remember.
Spectre. Weird character.
Let me look at Volume 3.
Are you looking for like a particular
I'm just
scene
I'm
that's
just
sticking out in your
looking.
mind?
I'm just looking through, just to see like what I kind of remember and like if there's anything that sticks out to me where I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. But nothing is really sticking out to me right now. So I'll let you know when I get through it all again.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely. Yeah.
like I said, there's just so many good twists and turns with it where
sure.
why I liked it so much, because when I'm reading it I'm like, oh, that happened, and
Yeah.
then something crazy happens and you're like, holy shit. What? I didn't think that
I
would
didn't
happen.
see that coming.
Yeah, so they
That's
did
great,
really
man.
good with that.
Yeah, that's great.
But yes, I will reread it all, and then I will let you know.
Mm.
But if I remember correctly, I think I liked Part 2 better. But that's not fair, because I don't fully remember.
Hey, that's all
You
good.
put me.
I put you on the spot. Put you on the
I
spot.
hate being on the spot.
Well, you're welcome then.
I
That's
hate
great.
it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Hey, that's some fantastic comics content. Green Lantern, the Rebirth, and the subsequent stories leading into the Sinestro Corps War, Batman Eternal. Great stuff. Great reading material. Good teases for those of you listening. Again, best way to experience this, go check it out yourself. We're just the conduit by which you find your way to this fantastic
Yes.
content.
I
So
think next time I'm going to write it out a little bit more.
all good.
Because I feel like I was all over the
Dude,
place,
that's
so I
a lot
apologize.
of storylines to try and keep straight. So that's fantastic. All right, we've given DC its due. Let's dive into some Marvel. The Hawkeye trailer dropped. Let's see, sometime in the last 2 weeks. I feel like it was actually pretty close to after you and I recorded our previous episode. And to be honest, that show had completely fallen off my radar. Like, we have talked
Same.
at length
Same.
of looking forward to Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, and Venom. Boy, blank there for a second. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Totally forgot there was a Hawkeye show coming out
Same.
this winter.
Absolutely.
Holy shnikes. But my anticipation and excitement have gone right back up after seeing that trailer. Love me Jeremy Renner. Just
Yeah,
in
Jeremy
general.
Renner's good.
He's fantastic.
He's one of the good ones.
Great fit for the Hawkeye character. I don't. Here's the deal. Do we need a Hawkeye show? No. No, we don't. But I'm all in.
The rumors
I
for
am
it are
all
really good.
in.
The rumors are really, really, really good.
Okay, hold on to the rumors. Let's hit what we've seen, what we know, and then I want to hear your rumors and unwrap those a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So, what we see in the trailer, not terribly long, a little less than 2 minutes. Haley Steinfeld is in it as Kate Bishop. Now, you said you read the Hawkeye comic,
No,
right? No, you haven't? Oh, who did I talk to that
it wasn't me.
wasn't you? somebody else. So there is a really solid Hawkeye comic that I'm gonna have to do some research. I'll come back to this with our next episode. I'll come into this with that comic. That, having read that, it is pretty clear that is the influence, at least from a visual and broad storytelling, that they're going for in this show. Because the character of Kate Bishop, being played by Haley Steinfeld, is a major part of that comic. She is, I don't know if I would go so far as to say Hawkeye's equal in terms of archery skill, but she's up there. She's really stinking good. So she and Hawkeye, similar skill set. Biggest difference is Hawkeye's a dude. Kate Bishop, not a dude. All right?
If you couldn't tell by the name Kate.
If you weren't sure. But both of them are very confident in their abilities, so there's a lot of fun in the comic as they kind of play off each other, little friendly or not so friendly banter at times. But the one scene from the trailer that really stuck out to me that was pulled straight out of the comics is when they're driving in the car and you see Kate Bishop's character pulling arrows out of the quiver, and Hawkeye's like, nope, don't use that one. No, don't use that. That one's too dangerous. And then she shoots the arrow and it blows the van that's chasing him up. She's like, you've got something more dangerous than that? That's a great scene in the comics. So pretty excited to see that they're pulling from that particular run. So that gives me some hope as far as, hey, you're using some quality material to build this show.
Can we just appreciate the fact that they're using the trick arrows?
Awesome.
I love it.
Let's go. Lean into that.
Can
right?
we please have a punching glove for an arrow? 100%. I know that was more Green Arrow, but still, you know how hilarious that would be.
There. Yeah. I don't know. What do I want from this show? I just want to be entertained. Like, my expectations are so modest for this because
you don't know what to expect.
I don't know what to expect, and we just straight up, we don't need more from Hawkeye.
No.
Like, what we've seen from Hawkeye up to this point, like, that's enough. As far as I'm concerned, if this show sucks, I'm going to intentionally forget about it and just go, no. For me, the Hawkeye story ended with Endgame. He rode off into the sunset. He's reunited with his family. He had set aside the mantle.
It feels so good.
Nice. Reunited with his family. Set aside the mantle of Ronin. Put that dark past behind him. Here we are. So now the show seems to be wanting to dig up his past and for some reason drag him back into that. Okay, we'll see. To be determined. I just want to be entertained. That's where I'm at. I want a good rapport between Hawkeye and Kate Bishop because that buddy cop dynamic that we saw in Falcon and Winter Soldier, phenomenal. Loved it. Ate that puppy up. And frankly, I think there's been a lot of good
duos.
A lot of good duos, in the Marvel shows.
I would agree.
Thus far. Loki and I know a lot of people want to say Sylvie.
Mobius.
But give me my Mobius.
Yeah, those
give
two
me my
are a better
Mobius.
Duo, for sure.
Those of you that prefer Sylvie, I feel sorry for you because you're missing out on the glory that is Owen Wilson. You are choosing a lesser brew. You're going for something that's light when you could have the diesel. So that's what I want from the show. I want to be entertained. Trick arrows, great what's the
repertoire.
I'm butchering whatever the word is supposed to be. Good relationship with Kate Bishop and.
Yeah, that's not what I'm thinking.
No, it's not. It's not what I'm thinking of either. I'm really frustrated with myself. But a good dynamic between those two characters. That's what I want. So, curious, hopeful.
I'm honestly just hoping which is what it looks like they're going to do. I'm hoping they just kind of flesh out the street level of what Marvel can give. Because I don't feel like we've fully gotten a good, hey, this is street level.
Not MCU-wise.
Not MCU.
No.
Daredevil.
Yep, the Netflix show.
Yes. Fantastic. I'm hoping that's what it builds out on.
Okay.
So...
Good call on your
That's
part.
my
I
hope.
like that. Yeah, I like that a lot.
But there's a lot of potential. Lots of potential.
All right. Rumors. What do we got? What are we thinking that we've heard that could happen?
So confirmed characters.
Mm-hmm.
So we should talk because obviously he's dealing with Ronin's past because I think Kate Bishop in the trailer is rocking the Ronin suit.
Yep.
So and I don't think she knows all the darkness behind the suit, and I think this is why people are coming after her. It's because she thinks she's Hawkeye.
Yep.
So that's kind of how that all set up, I think. So we're dealing with Hawkeye's dark past.
I'm just going to look up the cast
list
here.
The original Ronin in the comics was played by is a character called Echo, who is going to be in this. Fun fact, I believe she is Kingpin's daughter in the comics. You can double check me. She is definitely in this show.
Oh.
And there have been rumors that Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin will be back.
Okay.
It's going to be like a soft reboot of the character, but he will be back. So if that's true, holy shit. So that should drop, and that's why I'm saying we have a lot of potential for street-level establishment in the MCU. Which Hawkeye is that perfect bridge of street-level to cosmic to weird, like, shit.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
So she is definitely in it. That's one of the rumors. Yelena will be back.
Yep. She's listed in here on IMDb as in it for all 8 episodes.
Perfect.
Which, here's the deal. I'm in. Like, if that's the case,
I'm in too.
great. Easy.
Well, I am. I'm in. I can't be excited about a character coming back that was so good in her previous movie.
Good for you.
There's rumors that she's going to make him deaf. She's going to be the reason that Hawkeye becomes deaf. That's the rumor.
When is that a thing that Hawkeye becomes deaf?
Hawkeye is deaf in the comics, and there's heavy rumors that they're going to really explore that in this show, his deafness. You didn't know he was deaf in the comics.
I have never even heard a reference.
Hawkeye is deaf in the comics. I don't know when they go in depth with that, but he is deaf, yes. Like, he has a hearing aid, I'm pretty sure. So, there's rumors she's going to be the reason he becomes deaf. He becomes deaf. That's the rumor.
No way.
So, I will be interested to see how she plays out in this. Because I feel, obviously she's going to go after him because she thinks that he killed Nat. Which, he didn't. I feel
like it's going to get resolved pretty quickly.
Yes.
Right? That's not that hard.
No.
That's not that hard.
And then they'll team up, and then they'll be teammates.
You know how easy it is? Here's a little bitterness reference. You know how easy it is? It's as easy as in Batman versus Superman. When Superman goes
no, I'm
going to do it.
No.
I'm going to do it. When Superman goes to battle Batman, it's as easy as just telling Batman, hey, bro, Lex Luthor's got my girl, and so he sent me here to kill you. And for some reason, Superman never brings that up. We'll go down that rabbit hole at a completely different time. But I'm still bitter about how easy it would have been to avoid that whole fight.
Save my mom, Martha.
Right?
Martha.
My mom's kidnapped.
Save Martha.
Could use the help. That's the only reason I'm here. I'm really not interested in fighting you.
Martha.
Really, really not interested. Also, my mom's name is Martha. Well, we're best friends. Anyway, I gotta believe that the whole potential conflict between Yelena and Hawkeye, I don't want to see that play out.
See, I think they'll fight initially, and then she'll have her own separate mission almost.
Okay.
And then they'll fight again, and then they'll be like, oh, because I don't feel like they'll fully team up to like the last episode. That seems like a last episode kind of thing, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. It sounds like Hawkeye's gonna have his own little superhero family towards the end, because I'll be interested to see what they do with this Echo character, because I've never heard of her, and it sounds like she's gonna get a Disney Plus show. I don't know. So.
Hey. Okay. Yes. So what other rumors we got?
That was the main one. Was Kingpin.
That was it.
Kingpin. Yes. Kingpin's the main big rumor as the main bad guy, because there's got to be a main bad guy.
Help me with the pronunciation of that actor's last name.
Which one?
The Kingpin actor.
Vincent. I believe it's D'Onofrio.
Okay. Yeah. He was fantastic.
Phenomenal. So hopefully they let him do what he did there.
Yep.
And it'll be fine. It'll be good. So I love the Kingpin.
Yeah.
I love Vincent D'Onofrio. I'm glad they stuck with him as the character. That was very well.
Oh, no question.
So
no question.
Because then Daredevil's not far behind.
Dude, he's right freaking there. So the day before Thanksgiving, by the way, Wednesday, November 24th. That's
when
premiere. Episode 1 drops.
Sweet.
So 6 weeks, tidy itself up right around Christmas time. That's pretty cool. So
yes, lots to prepare for. I'll be interested to see where the story goes.
Yeah, I like the seasonal timing of it, like that they're setting it in
Christmas. Yeah,
I'm bored with that. That's cool.
And it's just, I don't know how many episodes they're doing. It's just interesting to me because you don't know how these other characters will play in because they only really showed off Hawkeye and Kate Bishop.
Yep.
And people going after them and trying to kill them.
Yep.
Which, great premise. I mean, that's all I need to know, but
That's
it's just...
all we got.
I want to know how these people are coming in, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we'll wait and see. Did you want to discuss What If and then go into the Venom rumor?
Holy shnikes. I totally forgot about What If. I think I forgot about it even in our friggin'...
I don't
Pretty
feel like
good
we need to
beginning.
go too in depth with the What If episodes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
and then we'll end with the Venom.
Okay.
Venom
that's a good
rumor.
thing to end on. Okay, so What If? We had the zombie episode.
Correct.
Yep, where the what if scenario is what if when Hope Van Dyne goes into... Sorry, not Hope Van Dyne. When Hank goes into the quantum realm to try and rescue Janet. Janet has been infected with a quantum virus that essentially has zombified her. She attacks Hank. They come back in the midst of Janet's attack on Hank out of the quantum realm into our realm, and Hank and Janet are zombies, and they go nuts. They start spreading the zombie virus. It spreads rapidly. Many heroes are...
Ant-Man just gets demolished right away. The poor guy.
Wow.
And Hope, I love it so much because Hope just like shrinks, flies away, and Scott's just like, what the hell?
Right,
He's
Scott.
eaten.
Just slow reaction time, Scott. Like, get small and you're fine, but no.
That's so true to Scott, though. It's so true to
Jeez,
Scott.
Just chokes. Just absolutely chokes and gets just shredded. And they have the scene where the children of Thanos come to Earth to take over Earth.
They get shredded.
Avengers, right.
Avengers get shredded.
Avengers get shredded. I don't even want to like talk about it too much, quite honestly, because I don't get this zombie thing, man. I don't understand. Like, I tried watching The Walking Dead. I got through 2, maybe 3 seasons. And here's what I don't get about it. Or here's what I don't find appealing about it. It's just gross. Mm-hmm. It's friggin' nasty.
I've never gotten into it either. I can't
No.
figure it out. I had buddies that grew up loving Call of Duty Zombies.
Yep.
Never was a fan. I couldn't get into it. I was like, this just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, I don't get the fascination, like this perpetual cycle of, oh, zombies. Well, let's just stick zombies into that. Listen, if you enjoy it, okay, fair enough. I don't get it. I just...
Unless you're going to send in Don Show. Then I'm okay with it.
Well done. Ben Kruger, that's for you.
Yes.
That's straight up for you.
Make more Don Show videos, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Anyways.
the episode... the episode as a whole was just so somber, like just sad. Like none of it was encouraging.
We had like 3 good things to come out of it, though.
Okay.
JP, we had 3 good things.
Salvage something here for
Okay.
me. What do you got?
Firstly, we had Peter mention Uncle Ben for the first time in the MCU.
Okay.
Now, it was a
Okay.
what if episode, but he mentions his parents dying, and he mentions Uncle Ben dying, which is a huge step for Marvel. That's insane that the MCU did that.
Okay.
Because we haven't had any Uncle Ben content at all yet with Tom Holland's character. I know that wasn't necessarily...
Aunt May even mentioned Uncle Ben?
No, we haven't even heard his
That's
name.
disrespectful.
It is disrespectful, so that's why
Yeah.
I'm hoping he comes into No Way Home. But anyways, that was number 1. Number 2, we get Scott Lang as a floating head. Can we talk about how beautiful that is? He gets cured. He gets cured from a zombie virus, and it's just his head that made it. So then he's just flying around with
It made
Doctor
for good
Strange's
comedy.
cape.
It
Yes.
made for good comedy. Yep.
And then third, we got to see Bucky rep Cap's shield, and I thought that was phenomenal.
Fair
He
enough.
did-
Yep.
That was
Agreed.
so
Agreed.
cool.
That
And we
was
don't
really
know
cool.
what happened to Bucky after that.
Yep.
I think he lived. And I think there's going to be a sequel episode to that. But
Oh, wow. Okay.
that's my guess.
Wow.
Although he did get destroyed. Like, he got blown very far back. And then it was super messed up that Vision just kept Black Panther alive to feed Scarlet Witch. That
It's
is
just gross, man.
terrified.
All the sounds that express disgust.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Zombies are
That's where I'm at
gross.
with it. Zombies are
Zombies are
nasty.
gross.
Not my cup of tea. If they're yours, go watch World War Z and Walking Dead, and
And
I
then
don't even know what else. So
we had the Killmonger episode.
Yep.
What if Killmonger saved Tony Stark? And can I just say this? This was the second. Well, this was one of the most boring episodes of What If.
Mm-hmm.
I was bored. I kind of saw everything coming. They basically were like, "What if we combined the first Iron Man movie with the Black Panther movie and made it so the villain won this time?"
Yeah.
Okay? Because pretty much the same thing played out, except Killmonger won this time. Like,
there was no like legitimate resolution.
there was
to
no
either of these
surprises.
episodes.
No,
Like,
it was all setups for a future episode, I think.
which I'm not on board with. Not in this format. Like the Doctor Strange episode. Okay, sad overall, right? The good Doctor Strange is beaten by the evil Doctor Strange, but at least there's resolution to that what if scenario.
Yes.
What if, well, that particular universe gets consumed because Doctor Strange went evil and corrupted the, gosh, what did they call that point in time? The absolute point in time or
Yes.
something like that. The zombie episode, it ends with them trying to save the world and
They just
coming
enter
upon
Wakanda.
That's right, Thanos
Yeah.
in
and
Wakanda.
It was
That's
like a.
that's just the, and that's, it just ends. It's
And you're like, okay,
Why?
do they save everybody or
right.
no?
So what happens?
So-
that right there. This is such a cathartic conversation because I've been wondering, man, what bugged me about those two episodes, and that's it. You're playing this what if. Literally, it's the title of the freaking show, and you're not even taking it to the finish line. Hey,
Yeah.
what if? Well, we still don't know.
Yeah.
We still don't know.
For sure. Because episode 1, they end it, and you
Yep.
know what happens.
Yep,
But
there's
they leave
resolution.
it off, too, where you're like, okay, they could do another episode if
Yep,
they wanted.
but at least there's
Resolution.
resolution.
Episode 2, we got a
Yep.
resolution.
Yep.
They all party in Wakanda.
YOLO.
Episode 3, we get a resolution. Hey, Hank's arrested. And hey, there's a new set of Avengers, but it also leads up to, hey, we could do a sequel episode if we wanted.
Sure.
Because here comes Captain Marvel.
Yep.
Episode 4, yeah, like you said, it
Most
just leaves off, but it was
Episodes 1, 2, and 4, I think, had the most complete resolution.
Yes.
Like episode 3, I'd forgotten about how that one wrapped up with Loki taking over
Yes.
the world, and then Captain Marvel comes in at the behest of Nick Fury. But it's still like,
I mean,
well, what are we? So what
episode-
are we saying? Are we saying
well,
Loki took over, or are we saying
so-
that Nick Fury is going to find a way?
Episode 6, it kind of does resolve because Killmonger becomes the new Black Panther. But then they leave it off at the end where it's like, okay, well, we might go dethrone him.
Right.
So it's kind of like episode 1 where, hey, they did, end it, but who knows what could
Yeah.
happen next. So my thought, like I said, episode 6 was just boring. Hell, they killed Rhodey off and Black Panther off. One strike, by the way. And I just thought that was kind of a douche move to Black Panther to just kill him off that quick.
That was too easy. Let's be real.
Oh, super easy.
Too easy. Not clever. Just to say, hey, this piece of tech wins. No. No.
I agree.
No. It you got to do better.
Claw.
Than that.
Claw died again. Everyone saw that one coming.
Except
of
for
course.
Claw. He should have seen it coming, but
Absolutely.
again, 0 for 2, dead both
And
times.
then I will say the Stark Industries robots were cool looking, but and Tony's last stand was nice because he's like, you know what, you killed Rhodey, I'm gonna try to kill you, but he should have known he wasn't gonna win.
Can we hit on this for a second? This bothered me, and I love the Black Panther movie. Love the idea of Wakanda. But this bothers me that in Infinity War and in Black Panther and now in What If, you have this society that supposedly is the peak of technological advancement taking the field of battle
With sticks?
with sticks. Pointy sticks.
Well, they're really good with those sticks. Sticks are made out of vibranium.
And that's
they're really good.
fantastic. That's great. I get it. They're vibranium spears. A gun is still going to win. Bang. Oops.
Well, I feel like their armor's all bulletproof.
Sure,
I think all their armor's
sure.
vibranium, so I might disagree with you on that one a little bit.
But then why aren't they wearing helmets? All their heads are exposed.
That's true. Tradition, culture.
Right. And I know that's the reason for it. It just bugs me. It's like, this is technological advancement. Why aren't all these, you have all this vibranium, you have more than you know what to do with. Why aren't all these folks wearing, like, Black Panther suits or something similar to it? What are we holding out for? It's like, well, we got extras, but only one guy can wear them.
Yeah. Well, can we also...
So, there you go. Little rant.
Can we also talk about how it just took one spear in, like, a non-fatal spot to kill Tony? I thought that was weird. Like, I could understand if it was right here in the heart.
I was waiting for the killing blow as well.
But it was here, and then he died, and I was like... Now, I remember that correctly, right? He doesn't...
It's straight up like...
But he didn't have, like, another, like, blow or anything? There's no extra
other
stab?
jab in a vital organ. It was just rotator cuff death.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
That I didn't feel like that would kill him. Unless it was poison. But
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
What we're going to need for me to feel differently about these episodes, and it could happen, because I'm thinking back to when the first couple WandaVision episodes came out, and I'm going, what are we doing here? And then the payoff came, and
last episode.
made it worthwhile. If there is follow-up to some of these what-if episodes, like you're saying, perhaps some sequel episodes, okay, I'll change my tune, I will get on board. But the lack of resolution bugs the piss out of me right now.
And there's some that I don't even need a resolution to.
Well, it's just, if we're going to play this scenario of, hey, let's pretend this little part of the story went differently and see how it impacted everything else. Let's actually do it. Let's not just say you're going to do it and then go 75% of the way there. So there's a lot of room overall for the What If series to improve. In my point of view, I would love to see some of that improvement. Love to enjoy it more than I currently have, because in general, I enjoy the Marvel content. I like the style of animation, but got some work to do. All right,
So the last two episodes.
Yep.
So this week's episode
are we
for
down
tomorrow.
to the last two?
No, we're down to 3.
Okay.
So the next two episodes we have. So tomorrow the one that drops is What If Thor Was an Only Child. So Odin gives Loki back, and Thor is the only child.
Okay.
So that's the episode, and then the following one deals with Gamora versus Tony Stark.
Okay.
So hopefully we get an actual good Tony content instead of him dying every time.
Tough.
Although Black Panthers had a rough go around too, except in episode 2. Mm-hmm. But regardless. So yes, and then it'll go into Vision Ultron. But yes, so that's where we're at.
Okay.
And then finally we'll end the episode with the Venom rumor.
Let's do it.
Okay, so now I'm going to give off this little spoiler warning here because we don't know what can happen, and I don't know if this is true or not. So this is what's just been going around on the internet. If you want to stick around, stick around. If not, goodbye. Anywho.
Amazing.
That's your warning.
There you go.
So, the rumor is, for the end credits scene, okay? There was a picture. We'll go into the picture first. The picture is of Tom Hardy rocking a Spider-Man No Way Home cast and crew hat on his head. The picture was quickly taken down. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so now the rumor is, for the Venom end credits scene, is Venom and Eddie are chilling on the beach. For God knows why. Probably
as one does.
Yes. And
they're an alien symbiote.
They turn the TV on, and they see Tom Holland's Spider-Man saving the day on the TV screen, and Venom goes, I don't like that guy, and then it ends the credit scene. So,
Wild stuff.
which there was a part in the trailer where people are like, that's the lizard? That could be Venom.
Here's my hunch.
This is a heist if they pull this off. If they pull this off, this is a heist. This is a heist. This is Ocean's 11 kind of heist. This is insane.
My hunch is that there's no. I just can't let my mind open up to think that the Tom Hardy character of Venom, Eddie Brock in Venom, shows up in a meaningful way or impactful way in the No Way Home movie. As in, it's not going to impact the overall storyline, but I could see them getting thrown in at the end in a credit stinger or tease, or the very end of the movie after the resolution has happened for that good old-fashioned Marvel future set up, because somehow Sony and Marvel have found a way to
Get
make it
along.
get along well enough for Spider-Man.
Remember when they almost took Tom away from us?
Yeah, I do.
It almost happened.
It did almost happen.
And now we're here.
I could
There
see
is a
them
God, in case anyone was
I
wondering.
could see them pulling it off with Venom and Spider-Man. I don't think it's going to be this movie that really that we get that reward. In
I don't
terms
know.
Of
I have
tangible story content.
I have no idea what to think anymore, and we won't know till October 1st.
Juicy,
Like, I don't know till October 1st.
juicy. Got a couple weeks, man.
I'm so excited.
It's great.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, love that. That's a great
So-
way to tie this one up, Beans.
Yes,
Love it. Good rumor.
As always, we just leave you chomping at the bit there at the end.
You bet.
Um,
That's what we like to do here.
like, subscribe, share. We appreciate you listening.
We do. We do. Love
Anything
having
else?
you here with us. So thanks for tuning in, folks.
All right. Godspeed.